Oh, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about some pretty big NFL breaking news that has very big ramifications for fantasy football in 2021. That news is that the Broncos have named Teddy Bridgewater as their starting quarterback, and if I'm being honest with you guys, this really did come as a surprise, at least in my opinion. I really believed that Drew Lock was going to be the starting quarterback for this season. Why did I believe that? Because out of those preseason games, I didn't really think Teddy Bridgewater showed enough to take him over the edge of Drew Lock. I think the team would probably want to have seen what they got out of a player they drafted just a couple of years ago over going with a veteran quarterback, but I guess I was completely wrong on that standpoint. Teddy Bridgewater is now the starting quarterback of the team, and if I'm being honest with you, for fantasy football, I definitely do not like this as much. Now, for Jerry Jeudy, it appeared that him and Teddy Bridgewater had some pretty solid rapport in training camp as well as in preseason, which should be fine for Jerry Jeudy, but overall, if I'm being honest with you guys, I feel like this offense now has a lot less upside as a whole. While Drew Lock is basically a momentum-based quarterback, meaning if he's on fire at the beginning of the game, he starts doing really good, then he's probably going to be on fire for the majority of the game and play very well. The same is true in the opposite direction, where if he starts playing bad at the beginning of the game, if the defense is getting to him, if he's not making these throws, then he's basically going to have a terrible game in that game. But if I'm being completely honest with you, I think the upside of Drew Lock should have outweighed the safety that Teddy Bridgewater brings to the team. So overall, if I'm being honest with you, I think this is a bad move. I understand why they're doing it, right? Because if you have a safe quarterback with a very good defense, with the weapons that they have, Teddy Bridgewater should be able to succeed enough to potentially take this team to the playoffs. So realistically, I understand it from an NFL standpoint, but for fantasy football, in my opinion, I do not think this is as good, because I believe that the team will not be able to score as many points on a per game basis with Teddy Bridgewater over having Drew Lock at the helm. So let me know down below what you guys think about this for fantasy football. Do you guys feel like this helps Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, or do you feel like this takes them down a peg? Does this now make you higher on a Melvin Gordon or a Javonte Williams? Because to me, that doesn't really affect, in my opinion, my thoughts on Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams, but it does a little bit on Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. I feel like they may not be throwing the ball as deep down the field with Teddy Bridgewater under center, because he's kind of one of those quarterbacks that doesn't necessarily always want to take that deep shot. The reason why people call Teddy Bridgewater a safe quarterback is because he's not going to make those stupid decisions, heaving the ball deep down the field. He's more of a dominant quarterback in the mid-game, where he's good at throwing in the middle receivers, not super deep down the field. He's also good at throwing the short ball. So I don't really love this move for Courtland Sutton and for Jerry Jeudy, but all of those reports about Jeudy looking pretty solid with Teddy Bridgewater definitely does give him a boost in some way, even though I feel like both him and Courtland Sutton could have performed a lot better with Drew Lock. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't know how much you should even bake this into your opinion of drafting these players, because I think this is going to be a carousel at the quarterback position, meaning if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't get it done in these games, they're going to just fucking take him, throw him away, put Drew Lock in, and if Drew Lock isn't able to perform, the same thing is going to be happening. So I think that this is very confusing for fantasy football, if I'm being honest with you. Sure, Teddy Bridgewater should be the guy at the beginning of the year, but do not be surprised if horsecock Drew Lock ends up taking over. So let me know what you guys think about this move for fantasy football down below in the comment section. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your guys' day. As always, good boy.